So in this video I'm going to talk about memory cache techniques and cache memory. So what is cache memory? Cache memory is a small high-speed memory unit located close to the CPU. It temporarily stores copies of frequently accessed data from main memory. The purpose of the cache memory is basically accessing RAM is basically in the computer system accessing RAM is slower compared to the CPU speed. So without the cache memory the CPU would waste time waiting for data. So now let's come to why the cache memory is important. So the cache memory, the main memory RAM is slower than the CPU, as I said in the previous one. So it's the cache memory bridges the speed gap. So basically it means the cache memory allows the CPU to get data in fewer seconds instead of more waiting more time for the RAM. And then secondly, it helps the CPU waiting for data, reducing idle cycle. So it simply means the CPU must not have to pause and wait for slower memory. And then thirdly, it improves instruction execution rate and overall system throughput. And then it's lastly it's especially used in modern CPUs with gigahertz level clock speeds. And now let's come to cache mapping techniques. Now in cache mapping techniques we have the direct mapping. The direct mapping, each main memory block maps to a specific cache line, and it is fast, simple, but causes collision if many blocks map to the same line. And secondly, we have the fully associative mapping, and in this one a block can be placed in any cache line. And now it offers flexibility but needs complex hardware to search all lines. So it is flexible, there is no conflict in stuff, but it needs complex searching to find the right block. That's basically what it means. And then we have the third one, which is set associative mapping. In the set associative mapping, the cache is divided into sets. Each block maps to a specific set. And then we have in it balance between direct and fully associative mapping. There are common variants, which are the two-way, the four-way, or the eight-way set associative caches. And now move to the cache write policies. The first one is the write through. So in the write through, data is written to both the cache and main memory at the same time. It ensures consistency, but it may slow down performance of the system. And secondly, we have the write back. And the write back, it refers to when data is written only to the cache initially. So it's written to main memory only when the cache block is replaced. And then it also reduces memory traffic but requires 30-bit tracking. And we have the write allocate. So the write allocate on a write means the block is loaded into cache first, then updated. So it works well with write back caches. And then the last one, which is the no write allocate. On the no write allocate, on a write mess, the data is written directly to the memory bypassing the cache. So it is common with write cache memories too. And now let's come to the last one, which is the cache replacement policies. So when a cache is full, there are replacement policies which decides which block to remove. So first we have the least recently used. So the one of the replacement policies says that when it talks about, it discards blocks that hasn't been accessed in the longest time. So blocks that have not been used for a long period of time are being removed or discarded. And then the second one, we have the first in and the first out. The first in and the first out replaces the oldest loaded blocks. And then thirdly, we have the random replacement, which chooses a block at random. And then the least recently used, which is the LRU. It generally provides better performance, but it is more complex to implement. Now let's come to the multi-level cache design. So the multi-level cache design, we have modern processors. The modern processors use multiple levels of cache, and we have the first one, which is the level 1 cache. Is the closest to the CPU core and is the smallest in size, which is from 32 to 128 kilobyte, and is the fastest of all. And we have the level 2 cache memory, which is larger than the level 1, from 256 kilobyte to 1 megabyte, but it is slower and it stores data evicted from the level 1. And we have the level 3 cache, which is shared among the CPU cores, but it's large, which from 4 megabyte to 50 megabytes. It's slower, but it improves multi-core performance. So this hierarchy minimizes bottlenecks and optimizes performance per core. So that's basically about cache memory technique and cache memory on its own. So to summarize all this, we see the cache memory it's the main uses. It helps bridge the speed gap between CPU and the memory. And then the different mapping techniques, which are the direct and associative and the rest, they determine where data is stored. That's the basic knowledge about them. And then the write policies and replacement policies, they basically affect performance and consistency. And multi-level caches are now standards in most CPU for performance optimization. So yeah, so this is the basic knowledge everyone should know about computer to know about